Everything out there can take you out.
Dense, rough, wet.
We're there for each other no matter what.
In Tully, 1-1 Alpha was sent out to conduct the jungle warfare training, where we had basically got sent out to the jungle for 6 to 7 days to learn what jungle operations are, how we can ultimately not only survive but thrive in that type of environment.
The jungle definitely possesses a lot of dangers, not only in the enemy, but the terrain, the wildlife. Just anything in Australia can take you out at a moment's notice.
You're constantly mentally, emotionally, physically drained throughout the duration of the training exercise.
You've always got to have a finger on the trigger. Everywhere you go, there's some sort of choke point. The jungle is an absolute death trap.
Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz. You already know that. And I'm here to talk to you not just about don't pack march before you get in the army. If you're there for 40 years, you've only got limited tyres and you're going to wear them out quick if you start pack march and lower back injuries. I'm 3 centimetres below what I was when I joined the military. Live by the sword. This is a knife. Then you're going to pay the price of being a professional athlete, regardless of being a swimmer, regardless of being a bronco rider in a rodeo, or whether it be someone, a lady of the streets. There's a price to pay. Don't pay before you need to pay. That's what I'd say to you. Don't rush the process. Guys and gals, 2024, 2025. That's what this is about tonight. We've got guys that have just gone to Cooperative yesterday. Venom. Okay, we've got a lass who's just gone to Navy. Beautiful Sahara Sands. We've got so many people that know each other that are at Kapuka right now. We've got Wingnut, who's at IET training, the oldest guy to actually enlist, who's now, been given a special coin from Delta Company for being such an old son of a bitch who got in successfully and showed you that you can do it when your batteries are fresh. Guys and gals, I'm back. I'm Bick from the Great Ocean Road. Holy shit, was that an adventure. Do not eat the pizza that I had and end up with an 8-hour bloody, what would we call it? What would we call it? A possession by this spicy pizza that had me almost the sickest I've been in my life. It was terrible. But there was a few times where I came very close to having a brown alert, if you know what that means. What else we got here? We've got Philip. G'day, mate. How you going? We've got Peppers here. We've got George Finau. That's a nice name. That's a nice name. We've got MRA. Psych assessment tomorrow, reserves, armoured officer. Any last minute tips, we'll join the Patreon soon. No problems, but the tips are the most important thing. That's what she said. Now, the psych assessment, you need to remember, look at this from the point of view for those that are watching right now and wondering, how do you pass or how do you fail a psych test? Remember, they're looking for something wrong with you, like carrying a knife around while being online, I guess. Okay, but what it comes down to is they're looking for something that might trigger this person, John West, is the best, but must be rejected because of this, becoming a liability as it becomes a contract with military that could cost them multi-millions of dollars, or you could take the possession, the place of someone else. It is not a place for confession. You've heard me say it a million times. I have so many phone calls where people have blown their chances of actual representation in the Army, Navy, or Air Force simply because they chose to be what they would say too honest, I dare say. You know, and it ultimately makes it hard for the people doing an assessment to say, we can't let you through. You need to come back in 1 year unless you've got AIDS or HIV, which is a weird one. G'day, Dave. How you going? Stand fast. And straight underneath is Jen from North Queensland. Let me get these glasses off. They're reflecting. Guys and gals, the psych is an essential thing. You know, naturally something like the military is going to bring all the weirdos to the yard. If you turn up there saying, I want to go to Special Forces, if you don't let me in, if you don't let me become a sniper, then I'm going to rush to Ukraine or the French Foreign Legion. They're going to go, there's the door, champion. Okay? There seems to be some political pressure for who they take. There seems to be DEI hires. There seems to be psychological quotas. There seems to be LGBT representation above what it should be. There seems to be forces that are pressuring and putting fingers on the scale of the hiring system, which should be completely different from civilian enterprise, so to speak. It should be all about meritocracy to give people the best chance of getting home alive. Anyways, the man himself is back. The legend will single-handedly get more people to join than their current strategy. How the fuck does that work? I don't know. I really do not know. But I believe the channel does a lot of good, not as much as the bat phone does. The link is below. Guys and gals, I'm not trying to harp on this one. I'm really not. But this is the phone where the magic gets done. This is where we have the conversations. This is where I get to speak to you one-on-one about your problems, about your hurdles, about your anxieties, in the absence of having someone beside you that can give you the assistance that you need. In a vacuum, get on here for the price of a coffee. You know, I spend the entire day on the phone. I was speaking on the phone less than 15 minutes before I spoke to you right now. Now, one thing I can say, does it get tiresome? Yes, it does. But 20% of my day is better than anyone else's day because I end up with a conversation from people that, one, keep me younger. Look at that. Beautiful. In some foreign poor countries. Okay, but it allows me to communicate with people in a way that I learn as well, and it's fantastic. People like Wingnut, I never would have known. I never would have known until we spoke. And now, you know, we create friendships out of subscribers, friendships out of Patreons. Okay, if this is your first time here, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Let's get the numbers up to 1 billion if we can. Okay, so I'm leaving on the 13th of August to Kapuka. Anything I should pack that's not on the list? What I would say to you, Theo, and congratulations, that's only 2 weeks away. 2 weeks, you know, and 1 month into this financial year. There's a high likelihood that you're going to actually be, you know, during the Christmas holidays, already back home. You're going to be there and have winter and summer through your continuum of Kapuka, the home of the Australian soldier, and then to the IETs. What corps are you going into? Let me know. Is there anything else you should take? Righto. I believe that everyone that joins the military should buy themselves, and I've given this to a young guy called Harry, the advice, buy yourself, even if it means that everyone puts in the money together that loves you and supports you and you promise you're never going to quit to, buy yourself some RM Williams or equivalent. A beautiful pair of leather shoes that is going to last you your entire first 4-year continuum of training and also graduation into the Army, the Air Force or the Navy, because you can tell a lot by a man's shoes. And you're going to wear these a lot when you're going to the mess, when you go to functions, when you go to formal occasions. Yeah, I recommend you do it. And you'll probably get a black pair that you don't polish for ceremonial as well. They'll last you forever. What do we got here? So what would you take? I'd take a whole bunch of lollies and shit and cans of Coke, and I'd stuff them inside your echelon bag, your civilian bag, because you won't see that. until they tell you, okay, go and get something from it. And then when you go and get something from it, before you've been given your blue tabs, etc., you can stuff your face like a fat kid at a birthday party who's got ADHD. Tully's a lovely place, says Dave D. Don't let Kaz tell you any different. That is not true. Okay, it is. It is true. It's beautiful. But Tully will absolutely test you even before a shot is fired, and I'll explain some of that in a moment. What have we got? Wingnut. Okay. I'm in agreement with Kaz. The systems is flawed and broken, but a few good apples are still getting in too. Absolutely. The best of Australian representation, those that are looking for a life and a track less travelled, are getting in. The next couple of days, we've got videos that are coming out. One is on how to be respected, as a private soldier. The other one is how to be respected as an officer by your platoon that you're going into. Both very important videos. Don't try and rush the friendship process. Use action that you can do before you join the military to set you up for success once you get in the military, to make you a successful applicant, successful human. That's what I recommend to you. Hang on, something's happened. We've been stimulated by Peppers, who's made it the colour of pepper. The Hare Krishna, we've got to get some soundboard up so we can give you guys the respect you deserve. And members, what should we call the members? I listened to an awesome channel over the last few days called The Bigot Army. I forget what the guy's channel is called, but it was all talking about politics in the US. And he calls it The Bigot Army, and it's funny as shit. And if you ever can, one of the best things you can do, if you, instead of sometimes giving a donation, and let's get some thanks there for peppers, chili peppers, heartburn peppers, peppercorn, red hot chili peppers. The other thing you can do, if you're going to put in $3, $6, is just gift a membership to someone. Drag them into our army. What should we call our members? Interesting one. Very, very interesting. Very bloody interesting, Neville. Cash? No cash. You're being very rude. Have a beer. Chopper. My daughter loved that. I was at Pentridge prison a few days ago, but not as a convict. Look out. Someone's rolled in here. Created something. The donation chain. Bam. The hand of respect. Not so cow. And the tentacles that reach out to say thank you. This is going to buy some raw chicken. If it makes you feel better. If it makes you feel better. Today I lost $1,000 just like every other day in this Australian stock market. I don't know what's going on. It's only temporary loss. You haven't lost it until you sell it. So that's all fine. And everything I do goes towards my daughter and other people. So feel free to help her in the future. Breathe through your balls. What did you do? What did I do to deserve that? Thank you very much, sir. Oh, sorry, we're not in the army here. Left-handed salute, finger displayed, the way officers salute, something like that. They talk about standards, but they don't actually hold them up themselves. I don't understand how it goes. So, righto, Wingnut asked, should he be the grey man when he went to the military? Never was the grey man, other than his hair. I was known by the platoon commander by the second day at Cooperative, and there's going to be advantages for being the oldest bastard in the platoon. But the expectations are also there that you're going to assist as part of the team cadre to be the guy behind the curtain, the undercover boss, so to speak, the sheepdog on alert, so that you can actually help them to help others that don't know how to quantify becoming an actual man instead of just being an adult. Because being an adult is not being a fucking man. And I'll tell you now, I've met a lot of men and I've met a lot of adults, and they're not always the same thing. I'll tell you that right now. What have we got up here? Frankie Anderson, I think we missed you before. G'day, Kaz. Hope you're well. I'm in selection for Special Forces Operator, and I have my selection assessment day tomorrow. Could you give me some advice? Love your content. Absolutely, I can. Absolutely. Mate, when I went on my 1999 barrier test, thinking I was wanted to go to SASR, but in actual fact, I wanted to go to Commandos. You need to remember that every single thing has been set up by physics. It's all achievable, okay? It's to get into your mind. Understand that you're going to want to quit, because everyone is going to want to quit, because psychiatrists have also assisted them in making this program to stimulate your brain. They want to see what's happening when the pain is in the chest, when you have all of these reasons to quit, but you don't do it. So what I'd do if I was you, one, say, I'm not going to quit. Okay, you might pass out, you might fail, you may do, but don't quit. Use people within that call sign. Say, I'm going to beat that guy. Where's he from? 3RR. I can beat 3RR, Old Faithful. Where's that guy from? 8-9. I can beat that guy. 2 dads, 8 and 9 RR. 6 RR, I can beat Long Tan. When you go there, have a sense of humour. When you get a chance, communicate. Stay activated. Keep your mind always thinking about something else. And the other thing is be very careful to not overplay your card. Don't spend longer than you need to, because you know you're being watched by somewhere in the dark, by someone with a sandy beret or someone with a green beret from the commandos who might be watching you. Always assume you're being watched. Stop, take a breath with navigation. Make sure that you understand what the leg is with 100% confidence before you step off, and break it down into smaller brackets than what you need to make sure you don't veer off in the subtension rule, being 1 metre is 1 mil over, 1 kilometre. So if you're out by 10, you're out by 10 metres. If you're out by 100 mils, you're out by 100 metres. Aim off so that then you can come back. You've got to come left. Do that, mate. What else have we got here? Wingy. Exactly true. There we go. Captain Kirk. Robbie Kirk. Gifted 10 in the trenches with CAS memberships. Look, that's got to be a splayed left hand right there. To you. And Robbie, because of that, mate, what I want you to do is take 5 minutes, Rob, to think, what should the name be for the members of this channel? Which is different to Patreon. It's the members. It means that they will come up in green. Say thank you if you can, team. A bunch of you are about to get membership, first month enlistment into this call sign. So well done. And I would like that Robbie Kirk be the one that makes up the name for that. Please don't curse us with something that's hard. Yeah. How can you say more than thank you for that? Thumbs up. Thank yous to Kirky, please, in the chat, because he's just employed 10 of yous. What's Dave got to say? Be the driver, be the mechanic, or be the part of the engine room. Yep. Contribute mentally to the call sign. Make it a better place because you're here. Concerned Aussie. G'day, buddy. Breathe through your balls. Thumbs up for the stream. Yeah, whack that up if you can, team. What have I done? I'm over here. Boom. That is why I kept looking at the goddamn screen. So what do we do here? Okay, wait a second. I'm just doing this for you at the moment. I'm going to whack this over onto this screen. Sorry about the actual thumbnail tonight too, team. It's it looks a bit weird, but that's because I almost didn't stream because I was running out of time. Quick sticks. Now let's move this over to here. That's all good. We can see all the greens come in. Boom. Lewis was gifted a membership by Robbie Kirk. Duffy was given the enlistment ceremony regardless of what was going on in his life. We've got Peppers, always been here. He's going to get you in line. Right, marker. We've got Adam. G'day, buddy. How you going, mate? I know you, Adam. We've got AJ Fitness. Excellent. We've got Jamie Bauer. I hope none of you guys were trying to keep secret in the chat here. We've got Nate. That's a nice name. We've got AM. Yeah. I'm a PM man, to tell you the truth. I don't like getting up anymore. Conor McGregor, Conor MJ, and we've got the Laminator. And we've got Solar Void. Well done. Look what you've done. You've started a momentum right there, my friend. Theo, I'm going to... Oh, God. Oh, my God. I'm going to HR. I hope you mean heavy rigid, bro. Hopefully, after some time, I can change jobs like combat engineer. Gee, we need you there. We need you and I to do work together. A bit of clarity. Not claret, because that'd be blood, wouldn't it? What else we got? HR, I couldn't think of anything more bloody mind-numbing or hard, because there is some zombies that try to join the Army 2 team. There really is. Here we go. Frankie, I'm going in from direct entry with no previous experience or anyone on my family, in my family. Frankie, you should be on Patreon right now. That's what you should do. If you go for direct entry, and believe me, I've spoken, I feel like everyone that's joined direct entry, you've got to remember that commandos means nothing to you until you pass Kapuka and pass the School of Infantry, which is the litmus, which is the fuse that gets you into commando, etc. So don't get it twisted. Don't think about tomorrow. Don't think of how far the journey is to the light at the end of the tunnel, because guess what? There is no light at the end of the tunnel. You're just going to work harder. You're going to get a lot of things, but incognito. Yeah. It's a very, very hard world. And you're going to be competing against some real alpha lads as well. And it's like when someone becomes it's one thing to be the fastest runner, okay, in the country, but then when you go and you do the Olympic marathon, all of a sudden you're surrounded by everyone who's the fastest runner in their country, and you might feel like, I've never felt this fatigue before. Or now I feel like, when I'm coming second last, how do I mentally prepare for that? It's probably like when a boxer actually fights someone after he goes from amateur up to professional. Duffy, the Kirkman, got recommended for infantry the other day, Kaz, getting close to enlistment. Laminator, when is your enlistment? Let me know. Look out, Wingnut, he's using some of the King's money here. We can't get you to do that, mate. You're on trainee money still. This is to help you, Kaz. More on the way. Nutsu cow to you, you geezer. We must have been very close to crossing over with each other as I was driving back from Victoria. What else we got here? Hey, Kaz, I left Kapuka this year after 7 weeks in training due to family issues at home and was told I have to wait 2 years to re-enlist. Do you know if there is any way to join earlier? Look, other than putting in what do we call it? If you address it like a redress of grievance sort of thing, okay, I want to appeal this, there might be a chance, but they're clearly pissed off that you said you were going to be there, not quit, and then you've left. Whether it be a family issue or what, they do expect your team, okay, unless it's your immediate family, your child, for example, they expect you to stay there and finish the job. You're being paid, you put your hand up, oath of affirmation, they expect you to finish what you started. That's the fact, Jack, okay? Will they let you back in? I don't know. What I'd do if I was you, keep training, keep getting ready. How old are you, Coda? I'd love to hear what the backstory was, because clearly they gave you alternative reasons to stay, and that it was a wrong idea to leave, but you said, no, I'm leaving, and couldn't be talked out of it. So I'm sure there's more to this story. I'd love to hear it. Frankie, thanks, Kaz. I turned 18 recently. Do you think that will give me a look in because of my age, despite my physical capabilities? Yeah, Frankie, a difficult one, because Special Forces needs maturity. They need men, not just fit people. Every single one of them needs to be in a position where they are all leaders, all able to work beside each other to add to the team, but also be able to sacrifice for the team. At 18 years old, you're an unknown commodity. Normally, they want you to do some years in infantry first. Okay, normally. If they're undermanned, they might tell you, no, come and join. But guess what? Guess who does all the work? Guess who gets all the anxiety? Guess who gets all the Fs? Guess who's competing against people that were sergeants, that were corporals, section commanders, operational military members who now will be in a position competing against you as a greenskin. All of the hard yards are in your corner. There is no advantages. So if you have a choice, the best choice you can do is get on to the Patreon, and you and I have a talk, and we do a forensic breakdown of your situation. Yep. Jenny, I don't expect this from you, from the great northern gal. You've got enough on your plate as a single mum. Okay, we appreciate you being here. Guys and gals, never actually donate something, when you have conflicting responsibilities. I'm just happy to see you here pressing the like button, to tell you the truth, guys. I really am. And I'm lucky to have you here. Absolutely. Take a breath, Cass. Here we are. Cassie knows what's going on. I sent a message to Cassie before. We've got some people in harm's way at the moment around Australia too, which is hard. I've been getting some phone calls by people who are doing it really hard at the moment. I'm not going to call their names out here, but what I will tell you guys is I get a lot of time to think of you, even when I don't know you. Your name's creeping to my mind all the time, whether it be a message, whether it be a comment. I try to answer every comment. I really do. But sometimes I see people in situations and it's really hard to see, Stevie Bryce, in Western Australia with his fantastic son, who's backing him up as he suffers in silence, so to speak. It's terminal what he's got, and he's suffering. Hearing people tonight that are talking about their cousins and family members that have just had a close call with self-harm, by being connected through this channel, it gives people a place to go, a place to be, and a feeling of belonging. And that's what we're here for, team. That's what we're here for. For you to understand you're part of something. Am I a loud captain? Not really. I don't overpost. I appreciate what you do, but I'm always here for you. And if you ever need more, all you simply need to do is jump on Patreon and eat one of these ears off with your conversation. It'll take a while. Chopper Reed couldn't cut through this one. But just some prayers in the corner for those that are doing it hard. And that's genuine. Yeah, it really is. We've just got a female get into the Navy. Fantastic. She's going to have a life around the ocean. Beautiful. I want you to be successful. The Olympics, I love it. But it's annoying me that you don't get to see all of the things without going on to paid this or that. Everything should be free. At school, they should be using these events because you become Olympians by watching Olympian. You become a Navy guy, an Air Force guy, gal, Army, gal, whatever it is, by watching military. If we don't represent ourselves well, then the next generation won't join at all. And we need people to join. We really do. Do some infantry time before going SF. The reason why Dave says that is because it will teach you the language, the acronyms, the conversations. You'll test yourself, not just in the gym. You'll physically test yourself as a professional athlete, male or female, so you know whether you are below or above a standard. Very important that you know what you are. Not in the civilian sense. Toughness as opposed to fitness. What's the difference, Kaz? Good, I'm glad you asked. Toughness is what you do in the last 10 minutes of the game. Fitness is what got you there. But it's what you do in the last 10 minutes that matters. Because that is when nature, that is when your heart and when you is saying no. But you know that everyone around you is in exactly the same position. In the same position. All right? Toughness. How you measure that as a civilian? Well, that's a hard one. Normally when you play sport, you get a fair idea. G'day, Hazy. Here you go, mate. Billy Bob. Okay, your advice got me in back in 2017. I'm showing my age here, aren't I? Mate, that's great, Billy Bob. Let's get appreciate. Keep you updated. How do I join Patreon, mate? It'll be in the comments, not the comments, the remarks under the video, the description. And you go in there, there's a link. If Simon Powell was on here now, he'd normally put the link in here. Wait 2 seconds. I'll see if I can get it in there. That's what she said as well. Wait a second. Wait. I stuffed up a little bit there, I think. Okay. Almost there. Copy. And believe me, team, this is not about me financially putting myself in a better place. Tick that like button if you can, you freaks. It's about giving you something that is more than what you can find online. It is allowing you to see something that is not available, okay, at DFR. Inakesh. Here we go. I'm sorry if I disrespect your names, team. I'm not trying to. Hey, Kaz, how are you? Could I please get some advice on how effectively balance cardio and strength training in my daily workouts before I apply to join the army? Absolutely, I can. And for those that don't know, I'm a fitness leader, righto? Which was all about combat fitness leading. Large groups, sometimes over 100. What I'd say to you is you need to go less and less on building muscle and more into calisthenics, okay? Being able to do chin-ups, being able to plank for a prolonged period of time, to work on your transverse abdominal abs, you know, to strengthen the back before you end up carrying packs. Okay, it's about doing the hard yards in cardio, maybe going to a park run, the 5 kilometre runs, not the 2.4 that you'll have to do for a BFA, but understanding how to do the 5K run, etc. And do it with what do we call it? Intensity. Go as hard as you can. You know, the worst thing that can happen is you're going to fall face down on the dewy grass, and then you can lick that and you'll be rehydrated again, you'll be fine. So start replacing some of the strength training with endurance training, you know, as opposed to hypertrophy and the power. Get rid of deadlifts, get rid of squats, etc., because they're two things that are going to make running harder, and running is a tangible test, isn't it, for the military? So do that, mate. You know, there's so many videos that you can look at online that are going to make it easy for you. There really is. Billy, okay, it's great to have you back in the chair. Australia must become independent and a strong defence following events in the USA. Absolutely. And what they should also do is definitely make sure that we get back manufacturing. We can't just have Fortescue that's going to shit because China is not buying our iron ore anymore. Look out, team. I haven't tried to be rude here. I've got 2 more donations here that I've just noticed. One is by this fantastic looking lady. No, it's actually a strong looking man. This is D, one of our great subscribers, Patreon members, and I look forward to speaking to him again. He speaks far less gibber than me, you know, and it'll be a pleasure to talk to him. More coming your way, my friend. I don't need more from you, D. I just need your comments. I don't want your money, honey. I want your comments. Yeah. Thank you very much, mate. Nutsu cow. Fist in the palm. Kung Fu Panda. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very bloody much, Neville Bartos. I've got some friends at the moment too that are going through some relationship issues. You know, and I just want to let you know, I watched some videos on breakup violence. So be aware of that too, team. You're going to feel the heat, the anger that men have when we feel like we're losing everything. Just remember, life goes on. It goes on. It feels like it hurts like a son of a bitch at the time, but you're going to be okay. You really will be. You know, wait it out. Don't move on to another girl too quickly. Don't do it. That's the worst thing you can do. You'll end up hurting yourself. You know, D, give us an interesting trivia fact that none of us might know. You can't use the lobster is immortal because I already know that one and I just applied it. Okay. What's my favourite YouTube channel? Crystal Coastal Oysters. A guy in America, amazing guy, a kid who started up an oyster business in 2015. Now he's absolutely kicking goals. Unknown. Area 51 right there, team. Area 51. How come no one texts the like button anymore? I don't know. You can even do it on the TV. If I apply to join now, how do I know I'm not going to be pointing guns at our own hard-working Australian citizens like the government did in 2021 on the streets? Well, they didn't point guns at anyone. They didn't even carry guns. Come on, mate. Come on. Let's not get hyperbolic here. They also didn't have the powers of arrest. Did you know that? On Australian soil. Yep. They were there to assist the police Was I happy with the police response? Absolutely goddamn not. No, I wasn't. You know, and our governments, they're trying to memory hole everything that we did, everything we saw, and everything we were told, and you can see that now. You're guaranteed not to be pointing weapons at other Australian citizens unless it's a domestic threat that actually wants to take the lives of other Australians. Okay? And that would normally be an Army Reserve role, not a regular Army role, unless it was counter-terrorism, which comes from Western Australia and in Sydney, where those guys can be deployed and they can get the job done. But, mate, yeah, it's no dramas. You'll be fine. Yeah. Yep, you will be. You'll be fine. But don't think there's not enemies among us either. There absolutely is. You know, thank you very much, Bart. That's a great question. You know, and sometimes, you know, it's a question worth asking. It absolutely is. Okay, Jenny. Kaz, you have no idea what you bring myself. It's only $20. You're worth every cent. All ladies in the world, remember that. I'm worth it. You just heard it from a lady, a mother, someone with common sense. Just told you I'm worth it. You know, thank you, Jen. Left hand salute right there. As Robbie Kirk told us what the name of the members are going to be. Just things. G'day, Kaz. Been watching a lot of your stuff lately. Finally caught a live too. Thanks for the info, mate. Working in PFA goals at the moment. Okay. Just remember, just things. The reason why you work on the PFA, you don't want to exceed that. You want to go for the BFA. And you want to exceed the BFA. Is it for the Army? No. It's not for the Army. It's for your sex life. It's for your living life. You know, you do it because it allows you to, and you also have no excuse when you're in the Army. You have no excuse not to be fit as fuck, because you will get the time in work hours to do so. You will. We go backwards a little bit when we go out bush. I get that. But then we actually work on toughness. You know, you'll never know until you see the guys in action what toughness looks like. I'll give you an example. I'll take us on a little memory one here. We'll put up a good question here. Captain Jack Sparrow. He's thinking about listing in 2028 or 29, a few years after I graduate. Any advice? Okay. Captain Jack Sparrow, that's a tough one because I don't know how old you are. I don't know what you're graduating from, you know, but I believe that joining the Army or Air Force or Navy is one of the best ways to learn who and what you are before you then spin the Ouija board and decide where you're actually going to spend the rest of your life. Don't go to 100 jobs just because the money pays. You want to go to be around people that you want to be around on the daily. That's what I'd say. There's Nate saying thank you to Kirky. Peppers is putting the pressure on. Guys, hit that like button for the stream. Let's get some love for the stream. Love the stream. I do. You, sir. Do I know Mark Manuso? I've got quite fond thoughts of Mark Manuso. He was a nice guy. Comes up short, but only physically. You know, angry? No. He doesn't have the short man anger that most short men have. Breathe through your balls. Will they be lenient on a candidate who is applying for a priority role and exceeds all fitness and aptitude standards, but however has some minor physical defect that wouldn't affect performance? Again, breathe through your balls. That is all a one-on-one, case-by-case scenario. Okay? You said priority role. That's a good one that you're going to have a priority role. Exceeds all fitness and aptitude standards. Another great thing to have there. Make sure they see 100% in the effort as well as the attitude. Minor physical defect. Okay. The way around that is to also have 3 choices of where you might want to go. So if there's one that's an unrealistic fit, they can say, but you did give us this and that. And maybe your third selection can be, well, why don't I leave it to the captain? What do you think I should go for? What do you have on the list that if you're going to say no to me on everything, you'd pump the fucking brake and say, yeah, well, maybe, just maybe, breathe through your balls would fit in perfectly, you know, in this, whether it be intelligence, whether it be signals, okay, whether it be transport. It might not be what you asked for, but it might be something you didn't even know existed. It might be go to the Navy instead of Army. Be open-minded, breathe through your balls, and you might just be surprised. You don't always get what you want, but you might. But if you try sometime, you might just get what you need. Yeah, there we go. The voice is not asking for me to audition. Don't look for leniency, just put in the work and meet the standards. Yep. Jack Sparrow says, he just dropped out for a minute. Did you answer my question? Could you please repeat it? Sorry, Dave. Could you please repeat it? Captain Jack Sparrow. Okay, so then listening in 2028 or 29. Okay, that's a long time away. So what I'd say to you, Sparrow, is I need to know what you're talking about, what you're graduating from. Are you about to wipe something that you're graduating from? Do you mean high school? Do you mean university? Which one is it? Okay, why are you going to go into something for the next 5 years and then turn your back on it and go into the military instead? You can't always have what you want. If you consider the Army Reserve and what you're actually studying, will that be a perfect hand-in-glove fit? As it gets closer, you and I are going to have some big conversations. When it gets closer, that's when you should join Patreon, and we should shape you to a career that gives you the best of the worlds you can have. Be Walter Mitty. Don't be afraid to dream for a while. But the Army and the sharp point, whether that be in the Navy as well, okay, when you're in the combat pyramid, when you're at the pointy end, what it does is gives you a life that is not comparable with anything in the civilian structure, which means everyone you talk to will have dark humor, will have the just get it done attitude, and if you're in the top third of fitness and you've got a good sense of humor and you've got a teamwork capability, responsibility, and commitment to your nation, you're going to have a different life, and you're going to become a different person than what you ever would have in the civilian world, and people are going to understand and know that you were built different. Okay? So I was talking about toughness as well before, and we just had Dave and some others up at Tully. Now, when it comes to doing a section attack, when done properly, is one of the most aggressive things in training, uber more than that when it comes to actual, in reality, when you were starting to talk about things like, bam, the infantry combat badge, going over as a unit to seek out and close the enemy, to kill or capture them, seize and hold ground, repel attack by day or night, regardless of season, weather, terrain, whether you're using bullets or using the knife, okay? The 4 stages of that is the preparatory stage, then the assault, okay, and then you've got the exploitation, where you're getting up in his face, taking his physical ground off him. That'd be a good thumbnail, okay? And then the reorganisation at the end, and then the adrenaline dump that happens if the platoon sergeant doesn't get out the section commanders and keep you in the zone, preparing for a counter-attack. When that happens in the jungle, and you've got a call sign of nearly 30 dismounted forces, with up to 10 metres spacing in between them, and then a chance encounter occurs, contact front, you hope it's not to a flank or it's an ambush, especially in the jungle, and they've watched you walk past and they're about to hit you hard. When that happens, if you're the rear man, the tail end Charlie, because you're in single file, then what happens is that guy has to run 300 metres from the rear to the forward line of troops, even before he gets told where he's going to be. Is he going to be in a flanking force? Is he going to be in an envelopment? Is he going to be part of fire support? Unlikely. The physicality of that in marching order with a 60 kilo pack or 50 kilogram pack with body armour, with full weapons, water, etc., is more than you can bear a lot of the time. And no one has any sympathy. No one cares if you're hot. No one cares if you're wet. No one cares if you've got a fucking leech on your left eyeball. No one cares if your pants are cut around the groin and you're shitting openly, okay, into the mosquitoes. You got to get the job done, because if you don't, that's a hole that is not being covered by responsibility, which means someone could lose their life. because of your inability to be physically tough enough to be able to push yourself. So, toughness, it's a different thing. Okay, D, I asked for a bit of trivial knowledge, and this is what he's given me. The shortest war in history lasted only 38 to 45 minutes. I'm intrigued. Where was it at? Let us know, D. Let us know. You know, was it because someone gave up quickly? I'm as late as a Raffy. Oh, sorry, I went to put that in before. Okay. In the trenches, there's the Patreon link there, team. I'm as late as a Raffy, that's what she said, and I'm not the father. Yeah? Guys, we've got about 10 or 15 minutes to go. You know, considering we weren't going to be on tonight, I hope that we're answering the questions you want. Do you want to join the Army? Let's see it there. Army, Navy, or Air Force, and I won't hold it against you. I won't, I promise. Army, Air Force, and Navy. We need you all. Here we go. Boozer. Okay, this question for you. Mate, how strict tough are they with the education requirement? They're pretty tough. They're pretty tough, but it also depends on how old you are, mate. You know, and what you've achieved since you actually got out of school, right? If you've been working for a number of years and then you pass the aptitude test, they might go, okay, we'll waive that one. Okay? So just be ready for that one. If not, there can be bridging courses for people that didn't go through year 10, year 12, etc. that go through TAFE and then in 6 months can be fully qualified. You know? Yeah, I hope that helps. Okay, what do you got? Have a Raffy lunch. D's saying hopefully he wants to go to engineers. That's a fantastic call. The only reason I don't go there is I'm useless with my hands, which is confusing to women because they know I actually know how to make girls make that panting sound. Army medic, okay. Peppers wants to go for Army medic or logistics. We need all of them. We do. Now, I just wish there was a combat medic corps as an extension where you actually get to go out and you hang out with the actual platoons and you're basically got the qualification of a paramedic with the controlled drugs that comes out with infantry, etc., and works alongside the platoon sergeant. This one scared me. My nana's passed away and she just jumped up. Hey, Cass, enlisting in the RAF on September the 30th. I got all the listed items I need for basic, but anything you recommend that I can bring? All I'd say to you, mate, is take a sense of humour, take some wet wipes, you know, because they're great for cleaning you when you don't have time to shower necessarily. Take some lollies and crap and get yourself a pair of beautiful R.M. Williams boots, something that you can wear when you go out to the messes and when you go out. Take some writing material, send an actual letter, stamped letter to your grandparents. They'll remember that shit and they'll love it. A set of golf clubs. Very bloody true, says Yusa. Okay, Justine says, looking at Navy technician. Okay, that sounds like a fantastic role. I don't know if there's many roles within the actual the Navy and the Air Force for that matter, which is actually a group of people like a platoon where there is a collective combat sort of role. You know, I think almost everything in Navy and Air Force is sort of specialist heavy, you know. Nan, a set of golf clubs. Yep, gosh, I haven't been here in ages, but you're appreciated, Mr. Panda. We love the useless bear, the panda bear, the bamboo eater. Boozer, cheers, mate. Helps heaps. Mate, it's always a pleasure. Ask another question if you've got one. Nigel Hart. Okay, he's got a heart. He has, especially on Valentine's Day. Good evening, mate. Here we go, the answer from D. It was fought between the British Empire and the Sultanate of Zanzibar on August 27, 1896. How was it over so quick? Did they kill the commander? Don't know. It's pretty interesting, bud. Min Lu. Been a wild family? It's fine. Guys and gals, you don't have to be here religiously. Please don't feel like I check the roll and go, where the fuck is that person? I don't. This is a volunteer location, just like the military is volunteer. We want the right people with the right attitudes. And if the family is small, the family is small, but they're good. They're mighty. And I want you to ask questions, because every question that you ask, especially a deep question, a philosophical question, especially if it's in my lane, it allows me to communicate with you, and potentially it will be a question that everyone else thought about as well. Now, the 2 videos we're going to be covering over the next few days is how to get respect as a soldier. The other one is how to get respect from the soldiers from an officer. Okay? So they're coming to you. Be aware, I am not on full cylinders at the moment. You know, so there's absolutely no deliberate walk. I'm not walking away from the channel. I love it. Wingy, got to go, Kaz. Definitely talk soon. Fire alarm's going off. Were you the one that started it? Duffy, Army, still waiting, big fella. Second preference looks like a go. Just waiting for a date, not a mate, and offer, obviously. Duffy, it's always great to hear, mate. And you got to stay confident. And I tell you what, so often we see someone who thinks they're ready to throw their hands up in the air, only to then get told, yeah, mate, we've got a position, we've got a place for you. Are you ready to go now? There you go. Minlu, is 29 too old to go for infantry? The answer is categorically no. It's not too old. But it also depends on you. You know, it's a tough world. It's a tough life. What responsibilities do you already have in your life? Are you talking about army reserve or are you talking about regular? Massive difference. David Johnson sounds like an outboard motor and he wants to go to Navy, so it makes sense. I love that. Guys and gals, you know, if I could do anything at the moment, do you know what I'd do? If I was closer to the water, I would love to invite guys like D. I'd like to invite guys like Dave D, the guys like KP, you know, guys like Billy Krask, you know, Dwayne Duffy, you know, all the people that I get to know. Wingy, old bastard, he'd take shit for free, but you can't trust those old people. And I'd love to open a hobby oyster farm, you know, and be able to get veterans to come and live there on the wharves, working on the wharves, getting subscribers to come down there and work with me as we put the New Zealand flip system into play, giving back to the waterways through their filtration system, you know, allowing people to eat oysters and piss and shit in the water. Burley, you know, just giving some people somewhere to go and make it big, you know, and with that money, a percentage goes towards something that we really love, like saving people from Bangladesh that are using axle grinders to cut up merchant ships and falling to their death. I would love to do that, but I don't live near the water at the moment. I live in Penrith, the Bronx, looking after my daughter. What's your fantasy job other than military? Mine is oyster fisherman, and it has been for over 10 years. Ace. Like I said, just people who are going for NCO training, be better at decision-making process, example, IMAP and orders, etc. Ace, 100% what I recommend, because I was an instructor on this, is get on Patreon, Ace. Get on Patreon. Let me sit there and do that with you. Call it cheating? No, it's not. Commanders need to be able to identify talent in others, embrace that talent, and then use it. IMAP is very easy once you know how to do it properly. That's the Individual Military Appreciation Process team. You know, once you know how to do that so that you can address the enemy, and this is only done at platoon level, nothing lower. You don't need to do it for platoons, for sections. You know, even if they try to teach you, you know, you don't need it, you know, because that will come down in sums. It will come down in fragos and part of orders, etc. It'll be shaped by the company that determines what sort of patrols go out. So it's already been done for you. But as a tactics and leadership instructor, that was my bread and butter. So if you're a military member and you need me on that wall for you, then let me assist you in the language that you and I both know. Okay? A pity the Army is not using their HR department to look at their DEI hires and actually do a Blue Force analysis and be able to say, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, what is our fixes, sustains and improves. because they don't want to hear the truth. Okay, Vulcan Tech. Vulcan. Okay, we've got 4 minutes to go. Pass on my assessment to go in as an Army aircraft technician. Cheers for all the help, Kaz. Can't wait to get into it. Vulcan, maybe you need to change to Valkyrie if you're going for Air Force. That sounds like a good one. Jimbo Slice, not Kimbo Slice. How long after assessment day should I expect to go to Kapuka? After you've done the assessment day and you've done your medical and you've done your also your psychological screening and your PFA, that is a good indicator you've got an enlistment date coming to you very soon, mate. Yeah. What are we? Nigel Hart, okay, Kaz, I'm really interested in how Wingnut went at Kapuka. He did really well. He's got some stories that we need to talk about. He left the stream, but really keen to find out what he thought at the age of 54. Mate, he did well. He's at the moment at IET training, okay, down south. And he seems to be very happy. I asked him, out of 10, where is his mind? And he said 11. So when I've got more details, Nige, I'm going to let you know, my friend. Thoughts on the Deputy Chief of Army, Chris Smith. If that is the same Chris Smith that I think it is, that also used to be one of our bosses in Bravo Company while I was there, you know, then, mate, I am more than happy. He was also the commander of the 2nd Battalion. He's one of the nicest men I've met in my entire life. Extremely capable. Very capable. When I was in the ops cell for the 2nd Battalion, he was the ops major for the battalion as well. I've never met someone more professional, more dedicated. If anything, he needed to get told, calm down. His wife, I don't know if he's still with her, lovely woman. I only met her when I was in Brigade Operations Cell. A fantastic woman. I didn't know that Chris Smith had the job. If it's Chris Smith, okay, as the Deputy of Army, and then you've got Mr. Stewart as the Chief of the Army, you're in good hands. Really, Shep, that I will 100%, you know, wish that I could serve under 100%. But they do need to do something about officers wearing skirts, you know, because how can you actually misgender someone that's already misgendered themselves and ask for an operation paid for by the taxpayer? They've misgendered themselves, asked for tolerance, yet couldn't tolerate themselves. You know, I've got views. Count me in, I'll be there, says D. Awesome, mate. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? Just working under the sun. You know, sometimes it's going to be windy, sometimes it's going to be cold. But looking at the spat, the little baby oysters, and saying, I'm not your father, and watching them grow. Crustaceans by Kaz. I don't even eat them, eh? Here we go. Jimbo, I've been running the Nepean River 6.5 kilometres. I live in the Nepean. To get my fitness up is 30 minutes. Is that all right? For 6.5 Ks, that's a good run, mate. That is a good run. What kind of exercise can I do to properly prepare myself? Jimbo, you know about push-ups, okay? Swimming is a fantastic overall exercise for working the back. You've only got to look at the physique of our Australian swimmers, God bless them, you know, Kyle Chalmers, and say, how do you get a body like that? And he got that from swimming, from doing butterfly, from doing repetitive intensity pool activities, as well as doing endurance activities with resistance training. So swimming, you know, planking, as I've said, you know, chin-ups, push-ups, dips, you know, all those sort of activities. You're already doing well at running. Right, do those things, you know, and you'll be good to go. Don't try and be perfect. You don't need to be. Okay, we've got to go, team. We've got to go. Imagine if they put oysters in the MREs. I don't even like oysters. I just love everything about the oyster industry. Hey, Kaz, love your work. Need to get your opinion on something. We'll be signing up to Patreon this week. Got to roam. I love that name. I absolutely love that name. I just got back from the Great Ocean Road where I was roaming. Okay? Guys and gals, let's keep it under an hour so it doesn't scare people away from the stream. Absolutely appreciate everyone that came tonight. I really appreciate the financial donations, okay, that keeps the show on the road, so to speak. Guys and gals, you are a special group of people. We're a small channel, we're a humble channel, but we hit above our weight and we get next to no dislikes. And that's what it's all about. The message is, it's true. Okay, is it 100% factual? No. Okay, do I apologise for what I say? No, I don't. And I don't give fucking trigger warnings either. If you want to come here and you want to be an adult and you can throw a comment in there and we will cover it, you know, then that's the kind of channel you want. That's the channel you want, and that's what you want to be part of. Kai! Surf's up, Kaz. It had dropped just when I left. Kai, I was just saying that my fantasy, we've just gone over an hour. My fantasy would be to get diggers and Patreon members, channel members, as well as subscribers. Imagine if everyone could turn up and we had a cooperative of oyster fishermen, you know, where we turn it into something massive, where someone who just does not fucking fit in the army for some reason, and then ultimately I go, you know what? How about you become a paid member of this this fisheries co-op business, and we go 100% to turn this into the biggest and the best oysters in Australia. Wouldn't that be something that you could give people employment forever that don't make the cut to become that Australian serviceman? Army, Air Force or Navy. Always giving back. That'd be great. T-shirts, merch. Everyone's got hard-ons from eating oysters, even if they don't like them. Kai, the cobra. I'm fantasising here. Okay, let's get out of here, team. Go and enjoy yourself and have a good time. Thank you very much for your time that you gave me, because time is always of the essence. Time is always, what do we call it? Time is always precious, but you won't know it until you've been told that it's limited. So if you can, let's go to, as a matter of fact, give me 2 seconds here. What's the best week at Singo? It's always the week you march out, mate. It always is. Let me present something here. Wait a sec. I'm going to put something up here because I care enough about this guy. And his aquaculture, there's another one that I absolutely love. This is about a guy that's hatching a lobster. 50,000 babies. Where are we? I'm trying to give you something for free here, team. It's a channel that is positive, that will make you happy. Crystal Coast Oysters. And you're probably thinking, Kaz, you're starting to lose your brain here, mate. I get it. All right, so what I'm going to do, share screen. Share screen. Here we go. So guys, this is it. This is the channel. If you go to this guy's channel, at the moment it's 2024, he's trying to actually get to 5 million oysters he wants to put out. But this guy was a kid in 2015 and he started with a kayak. You know, so you can do it, guys. You can do it. I'm not talking about oysters. I'm talking about you can do what you put your mind to. If you can, team, can you do us a favour? Everyone that is potentially interested in this, what I want you to do is go to his latest video, which is, bam, what is it? This was 1 month ago, called Scuttle. And can you go to his most recent video, which is this one here, the top one, after you press videos, and leave a comment in his Scuttle video saying, you know, in the trenches with Kaz, told me you were the best channel on YouTube. You know, let's support this guy as he supports his family. I love it. Okay, guys, take it easy. I'll always try to give you something positive that's also different, okay, to the military. Okay, love your family. They won't be here forever, you know. And remember, no matter how much pain you're in, you can reach out, you know, and we'll do it together. All right, guys and gals. See you later. Left hand salutes, blade fingers. Thank you, D. And to all of those that make this channel what it is. You are an ingredient, believe me. See you later.